I'm Bobbi with Peace, Love, Paws Pet Sitters here in Columbia, Missouri. And I want to welcome you to episode 3 of Peace, Love, Paws with Bobbi in the boarding room. And I'm here today with Karen Kramel, and she is with Midwest Australian Shepherd Rescue. And today I am so excited about what we're going to talk about. She has a passion for dogs, of course, and she's got a really good idea that we should be listening to and taking note of as a pet parent. So today we're going to talk about, Karen, researching the breed of the dog before you adopt. So Karen, I know how passionate you are about your rescue. I've talked to you several times. I've known you for a while now. And so as a co-owner of that rescue, how important is it to actually do a little bit of, legwork before you figure out what kind of breed you need to get?
We spend a lot of time educating our adopters to make sure, and so we want to educate the public as well through this format to say it is incredibly important. So just for example, if you're more of a couch potato and want to stay at home and watch movies, please don't adopt a herding breed. But vice versa, if you are an active individual and you're wanting to get out to the outdoors and enjoy that, then maybe you can look into a higher energy dog.
Correct. Yeah, I know, so having pet parents, and we get a lot of phone calls about people who are wanting to get a new pet, get a new dog, or whatever, and they'll ask us, questions about things. And of course, we kind of have to be impartial. We can't, tell them what to do. So is there a really good kind of community or a way that they can talk with other people, or do you guys know other people that you refer to actually have pet parents talk to someone that might have an Australian Shepherd, or they might have a Golden Retriever, and kind of give them some feedback?
So we do. I get asked this even in the public, people, clients, referrals, things like that. Coworkers, everyone will ask what's the best way. So in our suggestion, even I'm talking ours as in Amy, my rescue partner, and I, we both get a lot of questions from the public person saying, what's the best way to find out what's a good fit? I mean, there are online resources that you can take quizzes. For us, what I suggest is do your AKC research using AKC organization. That will give you more of the breed standard, breed specific information. But then I encourage you to go ask persons like yourself, pet sitters, ask if you're able to, maybe persons that work at vet's office. Ask your friends, ask anyone who owns maybe a breed that you're thinking about. Ask them specific questions, pros and cons.
Good.
You want to ask both. What's the con of owning this breed of dog? And of course, I'm very happy to talk to people who might be looking for a herding breed.
Oh, yeah.
Specifically an Australian Shepherd. What's the pros and cons? Because we see both.
Right. Yeah, I know. I mean, you've been a real big guru about stuff that I've even asked you questions about in the past, just on things that I wanted to know too. And I know people get it, but yet you sometimes have to reiterate. The pet is a commitment. You're going to have a dog that is going to at least be with you if you go from puppy stage to maybe
10 to 15,
right?
Sometimes 18, 20 years.
Right, so if you don't lay that plan out, then here you are with a dog that might not be compatible to maybe your family or your lifestyle, or even sometimes I know people think they want something, but then they really don't once it happens. So what kind of a layout research plan, if you could do a 5-step plan or a 3-step plan to tell people, here's what you should do whenever you're thinking about adopting a dog?
Well, again, I think the same thing lies with, as we just talked about, you want to do your research about what the breed standard are. AKC is a great organization for doing that. There's all kinds of websites that talk about breed specific stuff. Get into maybe some Facebook groups, some online groups, ask questions about that. But if you can, even, for us, at Midwest Australian Shepherd Rescue, we are happy to educate. We are happy to educate anyone about what that looks like for a 15-year commitment of a dog. And so I just always say you want to do research. You want to ask anyone who owns the dog, anyone in the past, ask your neighbors, ask vets' offices, you guys as pet centers.
Well, I've got a question. This just came to my head, so we're going to roll with this. So, with these interbreeding things, like the doodles and the these and the those, do you like try to figure out both breeds if you know that it's one of those kind of things?
That's a tough one.
Right?
That's a
or
tough one.
or not. I mean, we have lots of Goldens that we pet stuff for. Lots of Goldens. And their temperaments are so spot on, even if it's male or female, that it's kind of funny. But when you start to get, these mixed breeds, I think that would be a little bit more of a challenge for people to get that perfect fit, maybe, right? Or they're always like, I want one of those dogs that doesn't shed. So naturally they think that's what they go by, right? So.
And there's so much more information about the doodle craze, as I call it.
The craze.
The craze. Anytime you're mixing a high energy breed like an Australian Shepherd with a poodle, it can get a little iffy. The other thing I will say is, everybody thinks they want one for the non-shedding of that breed, which is sometimes a little bit of a myth. You have to talk to people. We just, in our rescue, don't do a lot of doodles because we're talking about high energy breeds, and
it's a little different, right?
Yeah.
Well, so I know this is what you really want to get to, and I know I want to get to this part too, because this is like the real deal. And I know you know because of the rescue situation, but really, when it comes down to it, when someone does their research, or even when they don't, how often are dogs really returned for this very thing?
right.
For real.
Right. So returns, that's okay. So yes, we get a few, but more often than not, we get persons who want to relinquish their dog to us as a rescue because guess what? They didn't do their research.
Right.
So
does it happen quite a bit? Or
actually, it's probably a large part of it. It's
Okay.
a large part of what we see, where people are getting this beautiful Merle puppy, and then, oh my goodness, he's a lot of puppy. He's a lot of dog. So for this reason, this is the reason I'm very passionate about researching the breed and doing your homework before getting a dog, whether you're buying from a reputable breeder or you're going to a breed-specific rescue.
Right. So I'm just thinking of things in my head because it's like I don't really talk to you about this part of things. So if someone were to do their research and then something came up where it really wasn't a good fit, for whatever reason, what is the procedure or what is the best thing for the dog? When you talk about returns, you just think, oh, they're going to rehome or they're going to do this or that. But what's that back end procedure that's better for the dog? Not for yourself, but what you should do for that dog that you really, isn't the good fit.
Well, and for us, when we do bring in a dog from an owner that is indicating to us they're struggling with this, there's a few things that start happening. We have an owner who purchased this or adopted or whatever that looks like. They obtained an Australian Shepherd. If they aren't doing enough exercise, and we're talking mental and physical exercise for a dog, like an Australian Shepherd puppy, a Border Collie puppy, those types herding breeds, then if they don't provide enough mental and physical stimulation for the dog, it can turn into bad behavior.
Okay.
So we had a gentleman that had recently adopted from us. This is an example. His work hours changed.
Oh.
So
we have that too in the pet center.
Yeah. So he was working a lot more.
Yeah.
And he said, I'm giving him 2 15-minute walks.
Oh.
And we were like, well, you know, he's a 1-year-old Australian Shepherd. At 13, my 13-year-old Aussie was getting more than that in exercise. So
okay.
this is an example of where behavior can start becoming, it can be destructive, they can become a little more defiant, tearing up stuff, and for this reason, that's where I say it might be best for the dog.
Okay, Karen, this has been some awesome information, and I really think this will help our pet parents a lot. I do, though, I want to have you give us one really major nugget, fun, awesome thing that's going on with you guys over at the Midwest Australian Shepherd Rescue right now. Give us some information. What's up?
We have a lot going on. Well, I mean, a lot of dogs, honestly. We are just really struggling to find homes, foster homes for all of the dogs.
So fosters?
Fosters, we would love to have more fosters in the
Okay.
Midwest. We are working on building a really happy, over-the-top, fun website.
Cool.
So
Get
we're
out
hoping
there.
to have that launched. We don't do a lot of, unfortunately, like in this area, we don't do a lot of events. But my rescue partner lives up in Ringwood, Illinois, which
Right.
is close to the Wisconsin border.
Oh,
They have a ton of events. So we have a lot of events that are occurring where you can see adoptable dogs. You can buy fun stuff for your pet, be it get to visit with pets, which is another way you can find out more information about an Aussie if you were thinking of adopting. So
Right. So you guys are, I guess I should let you say this too, because that's only fair. What's your area for your
Sure.
rescue?
we are only in the Midwest states. So primarily, I mean, I'm located in Missouri. My rescue partner's located in Illinois.
Okay.
We have a few fosters in Iowa, Kansas,
Wow.
Indiana, Michigan, and a few in Minnesota. So we're all over the Midwest from Missouri on up.
Awesome. All right. Perfect. Well, I really appreciate you coming to sit with me in the boarding room. I'm so excited. I couldn't wait to talk to you. I always love to talk to you, Karen. And you are just a wealth of knowledge. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks for having us, and thanks for letting me speak with you, Bobbi. I love it.
I love it too.